There
Brew,
you go.
do you expect the Heat to even this series?
Was there a bit of that was kind of like we did the best we could, we stayed together? I'm just seeing that. He did clean it up at the end, like we're going to get a win. But it was kind of like, look, we've been in this thing together, man. We are united. That locker room.
Yeah,
it was kind of like, I get that we're overmatched. So I saw a little bit of that in Jimmy Buckets. But look, expect is a strong word. I do not expect the Heat to win. I expect Denver to win and take a commanding 3-1 lead tonight. Now, Nick, I will say this. I'll give them a chance out of respect for their heart, their coaching ability of Eric Spoelstra.
Their grit.
And their ability to get hot from three.
Oh, okay.
They can get hot from three. But here's the thing. I think Denver learned, Nick, in game 2. They learned that you can never, ever take this Heat team lightly.
Yeah.
Never take your foot off the gas. And I don't think they would. That's why I think they come out. I look at them against the Lakers in game 3, right? We're up 2-0. We got a chance. They could have relaxed. They respected the Lakers because of LeBron and AD and said, no, we got to keep the foot on the gas.
Yeah.
Game 4, they could have relaxed. LeBron has 30 at half, kept their foot on the gas. I think now they respect the Heat like they respected the Lakers.
Yeah.
And so I do think they'll keep their foot on the gas and take control.
Okay, I think what they learned in game 3 was if we have two guys with 30-point triple-doubles, hard to lose. I'm sure they'd love to do that
Well,
again.
they only hit 5 threes.
I don't think they'll do it again. Winner tonight wins the series. So I am what?
You sound like Jimmy Butler.
No, I did not say that game 3. Wait just a moment. Wait just a moment.
Oh, he gets mad.
I did not say that about game 3.
Hold on. I did not
You said if the Heat win.
Yeah, I did not say the winner tonight wins the series for Game 3, and I would like to explain why I believe that, if I may, or we can just continue with the misquoting fest from that side of the table. But here is an accurate quote.
But it's kind of
here is an accurate quote.
You played that card
Wait
already.
a moment.
It's just not. It's not as potent. I'm sorry.
It's not as potent.
It's not as
Okay,
potent.
it's a card that I have not been wrong on when I've played. I have not been wrong. The last time I played it was Game 3, Lakers-Denver, when I said the winner tonight wins the series. And I was correct. Denver won. They won the series. I'm 1-0 on that. Here's the question I would have, however, before I get to some data that I think Brew will find interesting. Here is an accurate quote. It's going to be 2-2 going back to Denver. That quote was from
I got new
him.
info.
What
I
happened,
got new
Brew?
info. I got new info.
The new info was what? That's what I'm asking.
Denver is not playing around. That they've learned their lesson.
Okay, so you thought when you said that it was because you thought Denver was a foolish or a silly
Denver
team.
In 6.
Right.
No, I picked Denver as a foolish, silly.
But
never,
it's going to be hard for
Nuggets.
it to get to 6 when you pick against Miami every game they've played this postseason. Say
and
one.
been right
That's
a lot.
21
too.
of 22
been right
games.
about 3 of the last 4.
So this is the spot that Miami has thrived all playoffs. When they feel like they are the more desperate team. Where they have not been great is when they have a cushion. They obviously have no cushion. You cannot go down 3-1 to Miami. And that is even me, someone who's picked 3-1 to Denver, pardon me. Someone who's picked Miami acknowledging, that's what I thought you guys were going to seize on instead of fake news quotes from that side of the table, that if Denver wins tonight, I think they win the series. I think Denver can win the series tonight. I also think if Miami wins tonight, they will win the series. Here are the two things I wanted to bring up. The first one is being down 2-1 in the finals does not mean what it used to. So down 2-1 in the finals, for a long time, meant you lost. Over the last 6 years, now I don't think you're in a better position being down 2-1, but again, 4-26 over the previous 30, 4-2 over the last 6. So that is not as devastating of a position as it was in the past. But the other reason, the real basketball reason, Brew, that I think Miami's going to win tonight is how good actually is Jamal Murray. And here's what I mean by that. Jamal Murray is averaging a 25-10 points and assists these NBA finals. People are like, is he a star? Is he a superstar? This level of production in the finals has been done by the 3 greatest perimeter players ever, and that's all. 25-10 in the finals. LeBron, Jordan, and Magic. So, do we actually think Jamal Murray, whether you think he's a superstar, underrated, future all-star, nobody thinks he's that. Do we think he is going to have a hiccup game? have a bad game, have a backslide a bit? If so, I would think tonight is a prime candidate for it, and I think Miami evens the series. I think that, like Brew, it wouldn't shock you if Jamal Murray, and it wouldn't be an indictment on him if he has a legit bad game. Game 2, he wasn't great, but he still had 18 and 10. It wasn't like an awful game.
So what's a bad game look like?
7 of 19, 6 assists, 5 turnovers. That's a bad
How many
game.
points?
Well, 7 of 19, I don't know,
18?
17 points, yeah. Something like that. With
But here's the thing. Michael Porter Jr. could step up. I mean, you talk about being due. He's due. Bruce Brown could come out of nowhere and have a great game like Christian Brown did.
Yeah, and Caleb Martin could bounce back. All the role players could come and go as they please, right?
Well, here's what has to scare Miami, though. Denver beat them handily last game by hitting 5 3-pointers. 5. All right, they can still get to the rim on Miami just like they did in Game 3. They can still hit those mid-range shots like they did in Game 3. And we all would believe, I believe, that they're going to hit more than 5 3-pointers in Game 4.
Yes, I do believe that.
So you add the extra 3-pointers to what they already have done.
But this to me is where sometimes we lose the plot, and I'm not talking about us specifically, kind of sports media in general. We see a performance that the story the day after Game 3 was literally has never happened in the history of basketball, playoffs or regular season. 30-point triple-doubles by teammates. Have never seen it. And then for the very next game, we're like, well, Denver's figured it out. Well, yeah, they have. They have figured it out. If Jokic and Murray have 30-point triple-doubles again, I don't think they'll lose. So one of the reasons that they only hit 5 threes and they won was because Jokic was scoring with such ease because they were getting to the basket, which Jokic is going to be able to do. Don't you think that Jimmy Butler is going to take it personal what Jamal Murray did? Didn't Jimmy Butler after Game 3 say where I have to be better is on defense and rebounding and those things? Don't you even if you believe Denver's going to win the series, Miami winning tonight would not be should not, in my opinion, be a shock to anybody.
I wouldn't be a shock.
So, bro, this is the percentage of points scored from 2, from 3, and from the free throw line. So you see from 2, it's mostly Denver there, although we thought that, Miami's the mid-range team. They don't really shoot a lot from 3. It turns out this is what Denver's doing. So now the question for you is this. If you are Michael Malone, first thing you do today, you wake up, see if anybody's talking about the Lakers instead of the finals game. You're like, all right, we're good. Is your plan to go back to Joker, almost like a football play where it's like they can't stop it. I'm going to keep on feeding the running back until you can stop it. Or do you say, you know what? We only hit 5 threes. We're 5 for 18. We haven't shot over 30 threes yet in a game this series. We averaged 31 during the regular year. You know what? Let's let them fly from outside, switch it up.
That's not what they do. They didn't shoot a lot of threes during the regular season. They hit a high percentage. They're like top 5 or 6 in percentage from 3, but they've never shot a lot of threes. So I think
18 last game.
Yeah, I mean they typically shoot more than that. But what they're going to do is obviously play through Joker and see what adjustments Miami makes to Jamal Murray, and then they'll kind of go off there. But look, if guys are hitting more threes, then they'll go to the 3-ball more. They don't have to. Miami has no choice.
That's correct.
Hitting or not, we got to just let them fly.
No, that is definitely
Denver has a choice.
That I agree with you on. But I also think one of the reasons Denver is not shooting as many threes, not making as many threes, is Michael Porter Jr. has been awful. And we saw in the Western Conference Finals, and here's Porter Jr., and the minutes thing matters. Is Michael Malone going to pull a D'Angelo Russell on Michael Porter Jr.? The idea that, he'll bounce out of this, I don't know that the coach trusts that he will break out of this. Because
he'll get a shot.
I mean, he's going to start the game. I understand that.
And he has been rebounding, which has been big for Denver.
Yes,
he's averaging 9 a game.
I get that. But the coach clearly doesn't trust him right now. The coach is playing a rookie.
Braun had it going. It's one game.
No, it's 2 games, Brew.
How many? He played almost 30 minutes.
He played 26 and then 21. Like we just.
I know his minutes are down, but if Christian Brown's not playing well, then he would play MPJ more.
I guess you don't think part of game 2, when Michael Malone comes out and says guys are missing shots, it's affecting their effort, it's the NBA Finals, we're not giving effort. We all talked about it. He's talking about Michael Porter Jr. Then in game 3, Michael Porter Jr. only takes 2 threes and only plays 20 minutes. I agree in this regard. If Michael Porter Jr. has a 5 for 7 from 3 night, the Nuggets are going to win. My question is, if we're going in the other direction, where Michael Porter Jr. is going to have his role lessened and lessened and lessened as this series goes on, because his offense has seemed to affect his defense in a negative way.
How many are you letting him shoot, bro? He only shot 2, and now his minutes are going this way. He's got to think, you know what? Biggest stage in my career. I make the max. People were used to hammer me on that. That kind of narrative kind of fell away. Now I'm on the big stage. If I don't make this first 3 I get, I might be headed to the bench.
I don't think. Look, if he doesn't play well and hit threes and is poor on defense, of course you're going to play the bench guy. He's not that level of player where you just let him play through it.
Of course.
But I don't think Michael Malone's gonna they're not gonna have him looking over his shoulder. If he looks over his shoulder in his own mind, that's on him. But they're going to continue to try to build his confidence, go to him when he's open, and tell him to keep shooting. I'm sure that's what they'll say.
I would be like, you better make the first one. I'm sorry. You have to make the first one or you're sitting down. We're running out of ways to describe how good Joker has been. Aaron Gordon compared him to Magic Johnson. I thought it was a fair comparison.
Okay, and that's where I get tarred. A Jokic hater, because I need us to pump the brakes on saying he's Magic Johnson.
He didn't say he's Magic Johnson.
Right, he didn't say it. Look at the context.
Okay, so
what did he say that was wrong?
Here, there is the idea that he is redefining the way the center position is played. He is playing it in a certain way at a higher level than we've seen, but he plays the position the exact way Domantas Sabonis plays it, the exact way. Sabonis this year was 19, 12, and 7 on 61, 37 splits. If you watch the Kings, the offense runs through him. We've seen it.
Does Sabonis shoot threes?
Yeah, he shot 37% from 3 this year.
How many does he shoot again?
I think 3. It's not.
He's not much of a. In the playoffs, they had him at the free throw line and not taking shots.
I understand it. I'm not talking about you when I say this, and I understand for folks who didn't watch the Kings during the year that think Sabonis can't shoot, that he is not, that it is the playoffs were a fair representation of who he was. My point is this: we have seen guys. We saw Bill Walton play the position similarly as a passer.
Will Chamberlain can pass.
Yeah, what we are seeing, Jokic is doing it better than we have seen anyone play it like this. But the idea that he's redefining the position like Magic Johnson did, where a 6'9" guy can be point guard, to me is where we get a little over our skis and prisoner of the moment-y.
I think you're wrong. All right, Domantas Sabonis is a playmaker. I've said that all season, and he was the Kings' playmaker.
Yes.
But to say he plays it like Jokic, yeah, sure. He might play similarly, but Jokic plays it at such a high level.
I said that. That's literally what I said.
That defines it.
No.
That's going to define it. All right? When one guy plays it at such a high level and wins, that's going to change the way people view the position. And Domantas does not shoot threes like Jokic does. He just doesn't. And again, we saw him in the playoffs you saw him at times in the regular season at the free throw line, and they're not even guarding him. They're daring him to shoot.
But if we're talking about 7-footers who can shoot, then we're talking about Dirk first,
he doesn't.
Right?
No. Do not compare Dirk to what. Was Dirk close to the playmaker that Jokic is?
Okay, now I feel like it's a shell game right now.
All right, let me talk. Just like Magic Johnson was the first 6'9" guy that was playing point, and people would start looking at it, wow, this you can be that big and handle the ball against these smaller guys and play point and run the offense. And he had a host of players come after him who were his size that started handling the ball.
Yes.
All right, Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway, Scottie Pippen, and the guys that didn't handle it as much still thought, you know what, even though I'm big, I can play on the perimeter. That was the effect of Magic Johnson. The effect of Jokic will be similar in that now you, as Aaron Gordon said, you will see bigger players start. You'll start to see more guys play like a point center. All right, he's the first I've said. You could call the Sabonis that, and Sabonis is not nearly as big as him either. And that's a big part of it too. But I think Aaron Gordon is on the money. And I'll throw this in too. Magic Johnson and Jokic had the same mentality and approach to the game. Do you know that Magic Johnson's highest career scoring game ever, 46 points, and his top 5 scoring playoff games all came without Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the court?
Sure.
Not just after he retired, but when he was hurt.
Yeah.
And Magic could have scored a lot more than he did. But he was like, let me get everybody involved. We're better that way. And that's what Jokic does. I could score a lot more, but I want to get all my guys involved and get them touches. We're better that way. So I think it's a very similar comparison.
I agree with that entirely, by the way. And again, the point that I am trying to make is, I think we even before Jokic made it to the finals, were we not seeing an evolution towards the do-it-all 7-footers? And Jokic being the best of them from an offensive perspective, to me, makes him the best. It doesn't make him transformational for how it is being played.
Other than Sabonis, who else is a do-it-all?
Giannis is a do-it-all 7-footer. Again, this is... Brew, you are talking to me, this is why I said it's a shell game. You are talking about the guy's skill level as opposed to the way that he plays. Like Giannis actually, I think, shoots maybe 70% as many threes per game as Jokic. He shouldn't, but he's like, as far as stylistically, they are obviously different players. But Kevin Durant is a 7-footer that can shoot. He didn't redefine anything,
but
he was
Durant
better.
Is not the playmaker that Jokic is.
Right. And the guy who I brought up who plays the exact same style is just worse than him is playing at the same time. What I do find interesting, we don't have to get into it right now, is there does seem something to be about the foreign big man that is different, very different than the American big man right now in that and even dating back to Marc Gasol, who was not this level of player from a passing perspective.
Because in Europe,
but
they
Vlade was like that,
regardless of your
was like
size. If you could be 6 feet as a 7-year-old, and you're going to get trained just the way the little guards do. Yeah, everybody's doing the same
20-year-old, 7-footer, good shooter, good rebounder, like amazing passes type guy.
Oh, Şengün. He got Şengün to show. Why did you could have backed me up there, said Şengün plays the same way.
No, but Şengün is learning from Joker. He's baby Joker.
Okay.
He is.
Okay.
Baby Joker.
Okay, that's fine. You could have just backed me up.
Buddy. Joker, already an all-time great center. Some people are saying it. You have broken out your list. You just got cooked in that last segment.
No, I didn't know. I just don't. The latest
I
thing
don't
that
know
we
why
saw.
I mean, he's a 7-foot Larry Bird. That's what he is.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
And that's Larry Bird plays similar to Magic, except scored more.
Okay, that's fine. This is where I just get frustrated because the most recent thing we saw happen is the only thing we saw happen. The discussion I saw on television today was, if they win the title, is he one of the 15 greatest players in the history of the sport? Like, let's just take a beat. Let's just take a beat. And Bruce, so here is, I know you get a little annoyed at times, you couch it well, that I use my list as the list, but there is no official list.
Well, when you throw out, it's top 30 all the time.
Yeah, but there is no official, the top 75 list wasn't
like
numbered,
it's so definitive.
so I just did it. Here are, right now to me, Brew, the 10 greatest centers ever. If the Nuggets lose and Jokic were to never play again, does he supplant any of these guys on the list?
He loses.
The question is win or lose. If he wins, I said it the other day, I think he jumps ahead of Robinson.
Well, here's the problem with all-time ranking Jokic at this point. He's too young.
Exactly.
He's only played 6 all-star level seasons.
Agreed.
So we get that, but what we're doing is projecting.
Okay, well that's fair.
Let's put it this way. Let's say they don't win this series. We obviously think they will. And he doesn't win a championship. He continues this level of production, maybe wins another MVP or 2, but doesn't win a championship. He's a top 10 center of all time. He probably
Agreed.
go ahead of Patrick Ewing.
Oh, no question. If to me, I guess there's different discussion between where do you think he'll end up. I think he could end up where people truly debate him versus Shaq. I think that could happen. And that's top 5 center of all time. Where is he right now is a very different
He's
discussion.
just too young and too early in his career.
Exactly right.
But I'll say this. People got mad when I said he's better than Dirk, which he is. The question is, I know I'm comparing race to race. The question is not, will he be better than Dirk? It's, can he catch Larry Bird? That's going to be the question as the best white player ever.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.